Alright, we finally have the full kit details for Skirk, and in this video, I'm going to help you analyze everything about her gameplay so you can figure out whether she's really worth your Primogems, or if she's better left in the shadows of your wish list. The 5.7 beta just dropped, and while we still haven't seen her actual in-game animations yet, we do have the complete breakdown of her stats and abilities. And let me tell you, this character is packed with layered mechanics that'll either make her incredibly fun to play or a bit of a headache, depending on how much you like complexity. Save up to 25% on the Escoffier and Navia banners at lootbar.gg. Here, I'm buying the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack for $79, while it costs $100 in-game, saving me $21 instantly. The top-up process is super simple. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase, just like with in-game top-ups. Beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Honkai Star Rail, and Lootbar has over 50,000 satisfied users. I regularly use Lootbar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. New users can get an extra 10% discount from the link in the description. So, let's talk base stats first. At level 90, Skirk comes with 12,417 horsepower, 359 base attack, and 806 defense. Her Ascension stat is critical damage, and it gives a generous plus 38.4%. That's already a good sign for burst-oriented players. Characters who scale with crit damage naturally tend to have high nuke potential. Now, the weapon that's expected to be her signature has also been revealed. It's a sword with a massive 608 base attack and plus 33.1% critical rate. That combo alone is strong, but the passive is where it really gets spicy. After casting her elemental skill, Skirk gains a 24% attack boost for 12 seconds. But if her energy is sitting at 0, she gets an additional 24% attack and a 40% boost to critical damage. This ties directly into one of her most unique mechanics. Her burst doesn't consume energy at all. Instead, it uses a resource called Serpent Subtlety. So if you're timing it right, you can trigger that massive crit damage bonus every time. Let's unpack what this Serpent Subtlety thing actually is. Basically, Skirk gathers these stacks through various actions, and they act like fuel for her elemental burst, or to keep her in a special mode after using her skill. You gain 45 stacks instantly when you use her skill, either by tapping or holding it. When you tap, she goes directly into what the kit calls 7-phase flash, which is her enhanced state. If you hold it, she dashes around in a controllable burst of movement and ends it manually, or when the duration runs out. Either way, the goal is to get her into 7-phase flash. While in this mode, her normal and charged attacks get converted to cryo damage and have bigger AoE and more damage. She also gets a significant buff to interruption resistance, which is great for staying aggressive in combat. And here's a wild bonus. While sprinting in this mode, she can move on water. Not ice bridges, actual water. That's something we haven't seen since Ayaka or Mona, but it's built differently here. It's utility mixed with combat, which might hint at her being useful outside of just Spiral Abyss. So what's the catch? Well, this enhanced mode continuously drains Serpent's subtlety. When it runs out, or if you manually switch characters, she drops out of the form and her skill goes on cooldown. That means timing is everything with Skirk. She's not one of those characters where you press a button and forget. You need to manage her mode, watch your stacks, and execute in a window. Now let's talk about her normal combo and charged attack outside that mode, because yes, she has a pretty standard 5-hit normal combo, but the real power kicks in when she activates her enhanced state. Her charged attack throws a spinning pole, dealing damage in a wide line, kind of like a spinning glaive. Not super remarkable on its own, but it does help keep enemies grouped and controlled. Let's get to her elemental burst, because this is where things take a turn from Genshin's usual design. Her regular burst does not use energy at all. It consumes 50 or more Serpent Subtlety stacks and rips out a series of cryo area slashes. If you go over 50 stacks, you can get bonus damage scaling from up to 12 more stacks, meaning your timing and stack hoarding directly influence how powerful her burst will be. Now, if you use her burst during her enhanced 7-phase flash mode, the move changes. It becomes what we'll call the Rapid Onslaught version. This version doesn't consume Serpent's Subtlety and instead applies a buff called Withering, which boosts the damage of her normal attacks for every hit up to 10 stacks. You can enhance this effect further by absorbing special field objects called Void Rifts. Void Rifts are another part of her kit that ties everything together. Through her passive talents, when your team triggers reactions like Frozen, Superconduct, Cryo Swirl, or Cryo Crystallize, a Void Rift appears on the field. And yes, this is team-wide. She doesn't need to trigger the reaction herself. Skirk can absorb these rifts in multiple ways, by hitting enemies with her charged attack while enhanced, by using her special burst, or by moving during the held skill dash. Each rift gives her 8 stacks of Serpent's Subtlety. So if you're building around her, you'll want to keep those reactions coming consistently to feed her uptime. Speaking of synergies, one of her passives gives extra damage boosts when you pair her with Hydro or Cryo teammates. For each Cryo or Hydro member that deals damage, she gains a buff called Death's Crossing, up to 3 stacks, with each stack boosting both her normal attack and burst damage while she's in her 7-phase flash mode. The multipliers get pretty serious here. 110%, 120%, 170% for her enhanced normal attacks, and 105%, 115%, 160% for her burst, depending on how many stacks she has. So imagine a team with someone like Furina or Yellen for Hydro uptime, and then another Cryo like Shenhe or Escoffier. You're not just creating reactions, you're also charging Skirk's buffs passively, which adds a really elegant layer of synergy. And for those of you who enjoy mono-element teams, she's got a passive that raises all team members' elemental skill level by 1 when you have both Hydro and Cryo represented. It's subtle, but those small buffs can matter in tight damage checks. Now let's peek at her constellations, because they're pretty stacked. Her first constellation makes her Void Rift absorption much more aggressive. Every time she grabs a rift, she summons a crystal blade that deals huge AoE cryo damage, and it scales off 500% of her attack. That's considered charged attack damage, so it synergizes with other effects that boost that tag. Her second constellation gives her an extra 12 Serpent Subtlety stacks after using her skill, and also increases the burst scaling ceiling by 12 stacks, so basically more damage cap room. On top of that, her enhanced normal attacks gain a flat 60% increase in damage, which is a huge spike for sustained output. The sixth constellation brings a new mechanic called Foul Art Slash. It's stack-based, triggered when she absorbs Void Rifts, and adds conditional effects. When she bursts, she can spend these stacks for bonus hits. When she hits certain points in her normal combo, extra Cryo Slashes trigger, and even when she takes damage, she can auto-respond with a damage reduction and counterattacks. It's like her kit gets layers of extra aggression the deeper you go into her constellations. If I had to summarize Skirk in one sentence, I'd say she's a high-skill, tempo-based cryo carry who rewards planning, timing, and synergy. She isn't a one-button burst bot like some characters. She's someone who wants you to build around her mechanics, keep track of reactions, and manage your resources like Serpent's Subtlety and Death's Crossing. If you love characters like Itto or Sino, who have unique, on-field burst phases, and you're comfortable with some micromanagement, she might be perfect for you. But what do you think? Are you excited to try out this style of gameplay? Does the energyless burst mechanic feel like a breath of fresh air or a headache waiting to happen? Let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like if you found this breakdown helpful. So far, we've only seen the paper kit, but once those animations drop, we'll have an even better idea of how Skirk feels to play. If you're planning to pull for her, definitely start prepping your cryo artifacts and think about those reaction pairings. And as always, I'll keep you updated if anything changes in future beta phases. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.